The soft flicker of the dinner candle buzzed around me like a restless mosquito, its glow more irritating than romantic. I sat across the table from my wife of 6 years, Rachel, who was absently poking at her grilled salmon with her fork. She wasn't eating. Her attention was glued to her phone, her thumbs swiping upward with mechanical precision. "Can we enjoy just one meal without your phone?" I asked, keeping my voice calm, though irritation simmered beneath the surface. She looked up, startled, like a child caught sneaking candy before dinner. Her lips parted slightly, probably to offer an excuse, but instead, she simply gave a curt nod and flipped the phone face down on the table. For a moment, I let myself believe her gesture was sincere. I wanted to believe it, but the subtle, almost smug smirk at the corner of her lips told a different story. As I sipped my wine, my eyes drifted back to the phone. The screen lit up again, one notification, then another and another. Rachel's hand crept toward the device, her fingertips brushing against its edge like it was some kind of lifeline she couldn't bear to let go of. I wasn't naive. For months, I'd sensed something was off. The late nights at the office. The vague, hurried texts she'd delete the moment I walked in. The way intimacy had become a distant memory, something she treated like a burden. I'd chosen denial because the truth was too painful to face. But tonight was different. Tonight, I was done pretending. "Go ahead," I said, gesturing toward the phone. She hesitated. Then she picked it up, her eyes flickering nervously to mine before she unlocked the screen. She tried angling it away from me, but it was too late. Over the rim of my wine glass, I caught a glimpse of a name. Evan. My chest tightened as she began to type, her thumbs flying over the screen. My gaze drilled into her, but she seemed oblivious, or indifferent. "Who's Evan?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm building inside me. Her head snapped up, face paling instantly. "What?" she stammered. "Evan," I repeated, crisp and deliberate like a slap. "The guy you're texting. During our dinner." Rachel froze. For a split second, guilt flickered at her eyes, but then she masked it. Her expression turned cold. "You're being ridiculous, Mark." That word, ridiculous, was the match that lit my fuse. Before I could stop myself, I reached across the table, snatched the phone from her hands, and hurled it at the wall. It exploded on impact, the shattering sound echoing through the dining room like a gunshot. She gasped, sharp and outraged, but I didn't care. For the first time in months, I felt in control. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she screamed, leaping to her feet. "What's wrong with me?" I fired back, my voice rising to meet hers. "You're sitting here in our home, at our table, texting another man while I'm trying to save this marriage. You tell me what's wrong." She stood there, mouth opening and closing, like a fish gasping for breath. For once, she had no clever retort. No manipulative twist to turn the blame on me. Her silence told me everything. By the time Rachel stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her, my mind was already racing. My fury was a wildfire, burning away any trace of reason, but beneath that heat, a cold, calculated plan began to take shape. I wasn't going to let her betrayal destroy me.
No.
I was going to destroy her. The next morning, I called in sick and spent the entire day collecting evidence. I started with our shared phone account. It didn't take long to find Evan's number. Hundreds of texts exchanged over the past few months, many of them sent at suspicious hours. Next, I hired a private investigator. Frank was a no-nonsense guy with a solid reputation. Within days, he handed me a thick manila folder full of proof. Photos of Rachel and Evan meeting at a hotel. Copies of their text conversations. A receipt showing they'd booked a weekend getaway, using our joint credit card. It was worse than I imagined, but it gave me clarity. This wasn't just an affair. Rachel had built a secret life with this man. Step 1. Secure my finances. We had a joint bank account, but I also had a personal savings account she didn't know existed. I transferred the bulk of our shared funds into it, leaving behind just enough to avoid suspicion. Then I froze our credit cards, no more shopping sprees on my dime. Step 2. Take back the house. Rachel always assumed the house was ours, but she was wrong. I'd bought it long before we were married, and it was in my name alone. I contacted a lawyer and began the eviction process. By the time she figured it out, it would already be done. Step 3. Expose everything. I wasn't just going to end our marriage. I wanted Rachel to feel the full weight of her betrayal. I compiled all the evidence Frank had given me and anonymously sent it to her family, friends, and coworkers. Then, I went online and posted a brutally honest review of the hotel she'd used for her secret rendezvous, complete with photos and timelines. The fallout. That evening, when Rachel returned, she was met by a locksmith changing locks. She stormed toward me, eyes wild. What the hell is going on? I handed her a manila envelope, divorce papers, and printed copies of every damning piece of evidence. Her hands trembled as she flipped through them. Her face drained of color. "You think you can just throw me out?" she hissed. "This is my home, too." "No," I said coldly. "This is my home, and you've overstayed your welcome." She tried to cry, plead, manipulate, but I didn't budge. By the end of the week, she was gone. The final blow. Evan. I didn't forget him either. I found out where he worked, a small tech startup, and sent a polite but detailed email to his employer. I included timestamps showing his rendezvous with Rachel during work hours. A few days later, he was fired. Rachel's life began to unravel. With no job, no home, and no support system, she was forced to move in with a distant cousin, hours away. Her social circle, once buzzing with mutual friends, vanished almost overnight. A new beginning. The first few weeks after Rachel left were eerily quiet, but her absence felt like fresh air after years of suffocating smog. I focused on rebuilding. I threw myself into my work, picked up old hobbies, and reconnected with friends I'd neglected during our marriage. One evening, I sat alone on the porch, a glass of wine in hand, watching the sun dip below the horizon. And for the first time in a long while, I felt true peace. Rachel had tried to break me, but in the end, she only made me stronger. And that, I realized, was the sweetest revenge of all.
Closing line.
So guys, if you enjoyed today's story, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching.